Why do we procrastinate? There is something strangely painful about unfinished things, a task delayed, a conversation avoided, a life postponed until some imaginary future version of ourselves finally becomes disciplined enough to begin. You sit down to work. The opportunity is there. The intention is there. And yet, you hesitate. You reach for your phone almost unconsciously. You tell yourself you work better under pressure. You promise that tomorrow will be different. But tomorrow arrives carrying the same mind. And so the deeper question is not simply, why do we procrastinate? The deeper question is, why can a human being act against their own understanding? The ancient Greeks called this akrasia, to know what is right and fail to do it. For thousands of years, philosophers have been disturbed by this contradiction, because procrastination is not merely laziness. A lazy person is indifferent, but the procrastinator suffers. The procrastinator cares deeply. That is why guilt appears. That is why avoidance becomes exhausting. And perhaps this reveals something important. Procrastination is not fundamentally a problem of productivity. It is a problem of conflict within the self. One part of you imagines the future. Another part fears the discomfort required to reach it. And discomfort is central here. Most tasks are not delayed because they are difficult. They are delayed because they threaten something psychological. Your intelligence, your self-worth, your hope. If you never fully attempt the thing, then failure remains hypothetical. The unfinished novel can still secretly be a masterpiece. The unlived life can still remain magnificent in imagination. Reality is harder. Reality measures us. Søren Kierkegaard believed anxiety emerges from freedom itself. Human beings are burdened by possibility. At every moment, we are aware that we could become more or less, and this awareness creates dread. A stone does not procrastinate. An animal does not question whether its life has meaning. But humans do, because humans are conscious of potential, and to begin is terrifying. Because beginning destroys fantasy. Once you act, the dream becomes reality, and reality contains imperfection. So many people remain suspended between intention and action for years. Not because they are incapable, but because action would force them to confront themselves. Blaise Pascal once wrote that humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly alone in a room. That line feels almost prophetic today, because distraction is not merely entertainment, it is escape. Silence forces confrontation with uncertainty, with mortality, with the possibility that time is passing faster than we imagined, and procrastination thrives wherever confrontation is avoided. This is why modern life is uniquely dangerous. We live surrounded by infinite distraction, an entire civilization designed to capture attention before attention can turn inward. And yet beneath all distraction remains the same quiet awareness. There is something important you should be doing. The Stoics approached this with brutal honesty. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself that life was short, not abstractly short, actually short. A finite number of mornings, a finite number of opportunities, a finite amount of time to become who you might have been. And suddenly, procrastination appears differently, not as harmless delay, but as the slow surrender of life itself. Because when you postpone meaningful action repeatedly, you do not merely delay progress. You gradually weaken trust in your own word. You say, "I'll begin tomorrow," and eventually your mind no longer believes you. This may be the real damage procrastination causes, not lost efficiency, but fragmentation of the self, the distance between what you believe and how you live. Friedrich Nietzsche believed that a person with a strong enough why can endure almost any how. Meaning gives suffering direction. Without meaning, even small effort feels unbearable. Perhaps this explains why so many people feel paralyzed despite unprecedented comfort. We are overstimulated, yet under-inspired. And in the absence of meaning, discipline feels oppressive rather than liberating. But philosophy offers no magical cure. The philosophers never promise that resistance disappears, only that it can be confronted. Courage is not the absence of avoidance. It is action despite avoidance. Perhaps maturity is simply this: to stop waiting for motivation before beginning, to act while uncertain, to act while afraid, to act while imperfect. Because in the end, a human life is shaped less by intention and more by the things one finally chooses to begin.